by the people, for the people.
Question, we take two here, and then I promise we'll get to the back of the room. Daniel.
Yeah. Hi,
And we
Daniel.
stick to one question.
Sure.
Robin, you got a freebie.
Well, I'm actually going to pick up from Robin's question, your response to it, Daniel Moss, Bloomberg View. The term Indo-Pacific as opposed to Asia-Pacific. Asia-Pacific always had at least an implicit economic underpinning as well as a strategic thing because of the role of Japan, China, Taiwan, the supply chains. Is there an economic underpinning to the Indo-Pacific concept, and is that a flaw in that?
Yes and no.
The Indo-Pacific concept, as presently framed, is a strategic concept. Could it have an economic underpinning? It could if institutions reformed to better include India in such a way that India was part of this span. APEC foremost among them. Now, is that a flaw in the concept? Not necessarily, if you're thinking about what it means to be looking at the broader set of strategic interests across this large expanse. When you look at the expanse of the ocean and think about strategic needs, it's maritime. It's very different than thinking about land defensive needs. So, in a sense, having that as a framework orients India to thinking of itself as a maritime power. That is actually another transformation that's happened within India. I think writers like C. Rajamohan of Carnegie India have written extensively about this. For a long time, India thought of itself as a land power, but it is now increasingly thinking of itself as a maritime power and is plussing up its navy to meet that challenge. India is one of the world's largest defense modernization processes going on. It's not moving as quickly as its own ambitions would have it move. Of course, that happens all the time in defense, and India is no different. But India is now thinking about itself and defending the seas. In fact, if you look at the most recent, the naval strategic concept platform that was issued, there's a transformation of the way the Indian Navy talks about the seas, from using the seas to securing the seas. This whole idea of India now playing a role protecting freedom of navigation as opposed to these just being sea lanes that the Indian Navy uses. I think that's actually quite important. So it's an important concept for this reason, for the change in India's own thinking about what its role is in the region, and for how that is linking India to its own larger ambitions with its partners, with Japan, with the United States, with Australia, which, by the way, is the Quad.
In 2018, that's something that I'm certainly very alarmed about.
I'll just offer a brief thought. On the world stage, India does not promote democracy. It doesn't believe in promoting democracy, and I write about this at some length in the book because it has a very different concept of what it means to be a democratic power. What it does do is some technical training. It supports the community of democracies. It supports the UN Democracy Fund. But I think Indian leaders view democracy promotion as having, unseemly regime change veneers to it. And so they don't like a lot of what the United States does on that front.
And it does.
Having said that, what has been India's calling card on the question of democracy is its own ability to stand as a model for democratic governance, for tolerance, for what a multi-ethnic, multilingual, multi-religious democracy can achieve. It has also been the case that India has not seen the growth rates that China has. So oftentimes people look at it and say, what does this mean? Does it mean that a democracy can't achieve the kinds of economic transformation that a more authoritarian country can? I've never met a person in India who would sacrifice democracy, but it's also the case that the ability to stand as that model, as a source of inspiration for the world, does depend on retaining that kind of strong democratic institutions within its own country.
Asian idea, the Indo-Asian. I think you'll see that more and more. I like what she was saying about India not promoting democracy. That's really colonialism, and that's what you see America doing in the Middle East with Iraq and Afghanistan. To be honest, hasn't really worked out that well, right? We've been there a long time, and it just doesn't seem to be getting going. I like what she said about India being a model, because here is a democracy, the world's largest democracy, not meddling really in other people's affairs, just kind of being who they are. And I think that is a great example for us to follow. I really like it. I would like to see America get more into that model and kind of, America first, pull out of some of these things that we don't really need to be in my opinion. Great panel discussion, great question. I really loved it. And I think it's just, again, proof positive that we're moving forward towards the kings of the East, as I've been saying all along.
Thank you for watching our videos. Will you please subscribe to our channel, and will you please give this video a thumbs up? Thank you.